Alrighty, let's get let's Uma it up, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another stream. Wow, it's Wednesday. Can you believe it? I can't believe it. You know why? Because apparently this Friday is a national federal holiday, and surprisingly, my company is actually giving that day off. So it is actually a 4-day weekend for me. So hey, look at that. Today feels like a Thursday because tomorrow is like, you know, don't have a work on Friday. Yeah, Juneteenth. Hey, Raze, what's up? Good seeing you. Welcome. Yeah, so I'm chilling. Don't have to go to the office tomorrow. Gonna go to Koreatown to watch the Mexico and the South Korea game. That's gonna be super hype. I'm excited. So, and work has not been killing me, which is good. So we are at a pretty good time right now. So I figured, why not get a Wednesday stream in before our usual Friday stuff, especially since I won't be able to stream tomorrow. So with that being said, we will dive right into the Uma stuff. Like I think we've already kind of, from the past Uma stuff, we already know. I've already kind of had some good runs going. So I already have a decently good enough team, but I feel like we can get even better. So that's our goal today, is to get the ultimate team to try and win Group A finals in the Champions meeting. So with that being said, let's pause that music and dive right into the game, featuring everybody's favorite literally male character, Believe. She's literally a male. That's good timing, Wall. That sounds good, fun to watch with people in public. I went to the one last week because they were playing Czech Republic, Czechia last Thursday. The reason why I didn't stream last Thursday, it was fun. It was very fun. That was also the reason why I think last Friday, the stream with Omori, I could not really speak that well because I just lost my voice. Hopefully last week trained my throat into not going into complete shock whenever I scream my lungs out. So we'll see how that goes. That's also dependent on how the game goes tomorrow. If Mexico ends up blowing out South Korea, then maybe I won't be as excited. TBD on all that. But yeah, it's fun time. I think it's even going to be even more fun because as much as Koreatown, you may think Koreatown, you know, Korean people, it's a Korean community, there are also a lot of Hispanic people living in that area. Like, I think I mentioned it the last few streams, is that I actually saw quite a bit of people in Mexico jerseys. In fact, the people sitting in front of me were pretty sure they were Mexican, and they were wearing red jerseys, or they were wearing red shirts, but like I'm pretty sure they were Mexican. So, you know, no hate in that. You know, we welcome all the fans. But I thought that was kind of fun. In fact, I was talking with my manager, who's from Mexico, about this yesterday, and he is actually kind of interested in going until he found out that. Well, one, it was in Koreatown, and it's like gonna be kind of a bit of a trip for him, and also two, the fact that there's another game happening in LA earlier that day, so the traffic may not be the best. I mean, it should be dying down by then because that game starts at 12, I think, and then the Korea-Mexico game starts at 6. So it should hopefully die, but like, yeah, I mean, TBD on all that. But I'm fine with that because I take public transit. Woo! Public transit for the win. Alright. So let's recap on what we have for Uma stuff. If it ever connects, there we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm legitimately surprised that I got this good old special week. You see she's all purple. It's because she's level 7 now. Yeah, that was surprising. We have an Inus that's... Oh, is this the good Inus? No, that's not the good Kush. This is the good Kush, unfortunately, but it's not the good Kush because it's a dollar store. No, because it's fucking Vine references. No, it's because it's my pickiness is because it's not US, which reminds me. Shabam. There we go. Okay. And actually, hold on, I should edit that to include one other nitpicky thing, if I can edit it. Can I this is my... Come on. Click the thing. Click the thing. Now, edit. Properties. Yeah, there we go. And then US plus rating. There we go. That's the main thing. I think that's listed in priority, so S medium is pretty much required. If it's not there, that's an SOL. But that stat line is around the one I'm looking for. I think the most important thing, honestly, is max out speed. And then the secondary is really the wit, at least 1600. And then everything, which, you know, this Ines does not have that. So that's also another reason why I'm like, I should probably rebuild this one. And then the skills, you know, skills are skills, and then the US rating. So I think, let me, and I don't know why I quit out, so I wasn't done looking at that. In terms of the meta stuff, I mean, Aruvu is actually, or Admire Groove over here is actually technically the most meta. Out of all the characters, Almond Eye is technically the most meta, but I'm not going to build her because that's too close to building for the meta, and I'm not about that. As much as I don't hate Almond Eye, but like, she's alright. Like, there's other characters like more than her. So I'm gonna stick with the two rivals over here, Still in Love and Admire Groove, and then I'll add another third-party mediator sort of Uma to make sure that they don't get into too many fights. You know, that's the idea of my team, trying to balance out the team dynamics here. And I did promise, well, I didn't really promise, but I did hint at maybe doing some runs with the new character Curren Bouquet'd'or. I do enjoy her, and, you know, contrary to what well, not really contrary to what I thought, but like kind of hinting at what I thought was very close to pretty romance coded. It's very romance coded. I think, what was it, in the story? Yeah, one of the main story chapters, it was literally like a confession scene straight up. Like, damn, this girl is attached to her trainer. So maybe I might do that, but I know Bouquet'd'or is not really the most meta. Not saying that that's really controlled or made my decisions ever, but you know, we got that going. So I mean, still, here's the thing. Still, I still feel like jokes. I feel like I could make a slightly better one, but I think out of the three that I have right now, she's probably the best. I mean, other than Spe over here, Spe's pretty good. Let's try and make an Aruvu. I think an Aruvu might be good, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, let's do that if it ever loads in the next Bouquetd'or. Okay, we'll do you later. We'll do you later. For now though, where's I think she was down here. There she is. Before I do that, actually, let me look. Because I know the Tachyon event's happening right now, where you can raise up your factors, and I do happen to have all three, I guess, books right now, so I could just do this, right? I have to look though. Let's see. Is there any spicy? Is there any spicy meatballs that I can make better? I mean, who's usually a good candidate for parrot building? I mean, if I look right now, cursory glance. I mean, what is this? I mean, that could be a potential one here. This Nishino flower. Wasn't there another Nishino flower made way back that was actually kind of decent, but it could have been a little bit better. Maybe that could be an option. I think so. Hold on, no, I think it was either speed or power. Was it this one? No, there's no way. I think it was this one. No way. Oh, I actually think so. No. Must have been power. Nishino flower. Oh yeah, it's this one. Yeah. Okay, no, it's already pretty well built, so I don't have to improve it further. Now the question is there anything in here that I want to? I mean, we got Jungle Bucket over here, but Bucket doesn't really. Bucket could be a good contender. Except the rest of these aren't really that good. Yeah, nah. That could be a potential one. I'll think about that one. There's this Kita-san, which... actually, you know what? This Kita-san is actually a pretty good candidate, especially since it has a lot of mediums. So let's do this one. To improve... No, not you, Bucket. This one. We'll do it on this one. Okay, so that's good. Let me see who else we got. I should really get rid of some of these characters. Like, I don't know why I still have this. Like, for example, like, why do I still have this Tsurumaru Tsuyoshi? Like, that's. I don't think she's ever been a good parent. I really should clean this up one of these days, and especially like some of these like ones that have like 1-star factors, like this. Well, I guess I understand why this Ines. But like, why do I still have this Helios or this Furioso or this Lucky Lilac? I guess Lucky Lilac I can also kind of understand. Like, why do I have those characters? I don't know. Let's see. But hold on, we might be cooking. Ooh, hold on. No, never mind. Thought we were cooking for a second. It turns out we just burnt everything to a crisp. This Sakura Laurel might be something. Hold on. Oh shoot! I was like, oh, maybe 9-star factor for long, but no. I don't build parents for that. This Aruvu maybe? Let's see. Nah, this is not. See, this is the problem. I don't build good parents, so it's like, it's very But I don't do training specifically for parent building, and the few that I have done have generally, honestly, been like, I've had decently good results when I've actually tried, but it's been very far and a few in between. I kind of just want to do this one again. I don't know if that's a good idea though. What was the one I just did? The Kita-san, right? And then yeah, Guts and Wit I don't really think are ever really good parents, so I'm not gonna even look at those ones. Let's see. Tannhäuser maybe? Tannhäuser? Tannhäuser? Too bad I can't improve the no, not you. Too bad I can't improve the grandparents, because if I could do this and Laurel and make this a 9-star factor, that would actually be pretty clutch. But for now, we'll just we'll improve this, I guess, and then good old Machi-tan. All right, and then we're good. Now I don't have to worry about this anymore, so we are Gucci. Okay. With that, let's actually get into some training with our very favorite Ice Queen. That one. The one that has heterochromia, but you can't really tell from this angle. Like, not a lot of... It's funny, because if you look at a lot of her fan art, you can't really tell... Like, they don't draw her with it, because people don't know, unless you really look closely at her from certain angles. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Let's get cooking. Yes. I thought I chose the wrong one for a second, no, but no, this is the right one. Tokyo? I know what that is. Oh, speaking of which, I guess I can talk about it a little later, but there is a very slight chance, I guess TLDR, this whole story that I'm about to tell, is that there is a slight chance that I might be able to go to Comiket, Winter Comiket, this year. So that might be interesting. We'll see. It all contingent on a lot of things happening, but there's a very slight chance that I might be able to. So I've been looking into kind of logistics on how to do that, because from my limited experience of hearing from other people their experiences, it's intense. It's, you pretty much, you can't, going casually is not a great idea because of how crowded it is and how it's just like all the factors that go into that. But if there's any one to go to, it's the winter one apparently, because the summer ones are just terrible from standing in line in the heat and the humidity. So I think, yeah, and it also kind of lines up with the fact that I guess to kind of explain a little bit further is the fact that the reason why I might be able to go is because I'm going to probably be going to Korea. Because I usually go to, back when I was a little bit younger, I used to go to Korea like every kind of holiday season to visit family and stuff, and I haven't done that in a long time. In fact, the last time I went to Korea was probably, it was definitely after COVID, but it was still around the time that you had to submit like COVID tests and do all, it was after the whole period where you have to do like the quarantine stuff, so it wasn't that close to that period, but it was kind of close enough to the point where you had to like do the tests and all that stuff and submit those and make sure you're not like sick or anything. So I'll just leave it as vague as that. But that's how long it has been. So I definitely do want to go at some point, and I think that holiday season is probably the most likely time I'm gonna go. And so my mom, I know, has definitely been pushing, and I've also kind of been pushing for this as well, to go to Japan, since, you know, Japan's like literally right there, like as a flight. It's not even that far away, so... And so I've thought about that, and then I kind of made the connection that, wait a second, if we're going during that time, then maybe I might be able to also go to Comiket as well, which is something that has been kind of a pipe dream of mine. It'd be kind of interesting to think about that. There are definitely like artists that I follow on Twitter that, you know, during that time of the year, they always post about, oh, I'm going to Comiket, here's my booth, here's the things I'm selling. And it's like, oh, that's nice. And then it's just like, okay, and then I just kind of brush it off from there. But it's, that was always kind of something that I've always been slightly interested in. Now, of course, like I said, you know, the thing with Comiket is that you cannot take it lightly. It's definitely something that you need to... I mean, I guess it's more the thing is, like, you can do it casually, but if you are gonna be looking to buy, like, a whole bunch of dojins and stuff, you need to, you know, plan everything out. You probably need to line up, depending on how popular the circle is that you're going to. So it's a whole bunch of kind of, like, and it's also hella crowded, and packed and all that stuff, and, you know, it's just like, and also obviously the language barrier. If you're not familiar with Japanese, there's that problem as well. So a whole bunch of things. But so I would say right now the chance of me going is maybe 20%, maybe, to be quite honest. I don't think there's a really good chance, but it's definitely, there's a slight possibility, right? So it's like, that's why I'm like, maybe just maybe. So that'd be pretty cool if that happens. I definitely have at least a few artists in mind that I'd want to stop by too. But I think is the other thing too is, like, from all the research, and I guess I haven't done that much research, it was literally just me yesterday. I think I mentioned earlier the stream, I've not been busy at work, so I just been kind of looking up stuff from like people from experiences, like kind of their stories and stuff. But from what I've read, it really does seem like if you're not planning to buy like more than like 5 dojins or whatever, it honestly is probably not worth going. Especially if you're going to try and do the whole thing of like lining up early and stuff, because then that's, you know, standing in line, going through all that, blah blah blah, the crowds. Sure, you can go casually, but if you go casually like for like the afternoon ticket, most of the kind of really popular circles usually just kind of are sold out and packed and like leave anyway, so it doesn't feel like, well, I mean, I guess that doesn't mean, popularity doesn't necessarily mean quality. There could still be some pretty good ones out there that may not be as popular that might still be available, but the ones I'm thinking of for sure, I think are, I don't know if they're popular though, is the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's up to interpretation, but I wouldn't think, well, I wouldn't think they're not popular, because I feel like I remember seeing their posts, and I think they're not of the type to, like, you know, like sell out in like 5 minutes or whatever. But again, I'm not really too sure, because they don't really post updates about that on their Twitter. Anyway, that's the biggest thing. It's just, you know, maybe there's a possibility. Who knows? But that's way in the future. That's months away. Which TBD on all that stuff. And speaking of TBD, I think I've kind of hinted at this a little bit in past streams, but I am like 99% sure at this point that I'm going to be moving out once my lease is over. I was out of curiosity, I looked around, or I looked at like apartment sites just to see like, hey, like what's the current price going for like these apartments. I just wonder if like, because don't get me wrong, I like the place I'm living at. It's just I pay way too much for rent and utilities and stuff, and I feel like I can probably live somewhere else that's kind of comparable quality for hundreds of dollars cheaper. So I was looking to see if that was correct, or if I'm just like kind of like delusional and like it's actually just way expensive. But no, it's actually much more cheaper in a lot of other places. So probably gonna have to do the whole apartment search and, you know, moving and stuff, but luckily it's not gonna be as chaotic / horrible this time around, especially since I'm not moving halfway across the country. How the fuck did I fail that? That was like what percentage of failure was that? Because that had to have been like 3% or something. That was 5%. That was like 5 or 6. Bruh. Bruh. Alright. But I'm probably not going to be moving too far from where I'm currently living. I like my neighborhood. I like the way that I can kind of walk around different places. It's a very walkable area, so I definitely want to continue to live in the same kind of vicinity if possible. We'll see how successful I am at that. I'm just casually looking for now because most of the places that are available are just kind of available now sort of thing. It's not like, oh, it's going to be available next month or whatever. So I'm just kind of casually testing out the waters, but I'll be more serious, I guess, next month. Maybe even kind of into later next month. So we'll see how that goes. Moving is always kind of annoying. I know. If you know, it's a whole, you know, ordeal of having to organize, you know, sort through that, pay the movers, blah blah blah. It's just and then having to you know, change your dresses on everything. It's just, man, that's a bit of an annoyance. But honestly, it's also kind of exciting, you know. I have a little bit of excitement being like, ooh, new place, you know, new, not so much new adventures, but like, you know, hey, you know, it's like reorganization, figuring out all that stuff, you know. That's always the fun stuff. I mean, I could just play Animal Crossing or something to kind of sate that urge, but nah, you know, I figure do that and save money. Why not? So, oh, I need to do dreams. You're so correct. Thank you. Thank you for that. But that's pretty much the biggest thing. Those are like the biggest, and also Anime Expo is coming up pretty quick, honestly. It's like in 2-3 weeks, which is kind of crazy. I was looking around at trying to get some more, because I still have my Ines cosplay that I'm probably going to reuse, but I need to redo the wig a little bit, because admittedly it wasn't the best representation of Ines. I feel like I could have done a little bit better with the wig and the cut and stuff, so I'm going to redo that and try and make that a little bit better. But overall, I was pretty happy with the way it looked. I did end up, and I don't know if it's going to be coming before Anime Expo. I tried my best to get ones that were going to be coming like later this month, so like kind of a little bit priority shipping. But I did order, what is it, Dantu Flame wig / ears, which who knows when those will come. And then I also did a second attempt at trying to get the Tracen school uniform. I know I said last time, I did the whole ordeal of trying to get that last time, only for the size to be way too small. I've learned that mistake, I've learned from that mistake, and this time I ordered one that's explicitly a male size, male large. And I checked my measurements and everything just to make sure, and I ordered it bigger than what I measured, so it should fit. And so I'm excited that if it does fit, then I can wear the school uniform of my dreams, you know, get to fulfill that, not fantasy, that's a really kind of weird way of putting it, but it'll be fun, you know. I think wearing that Ines cosplay during Fanime made me realize that I enjoy cosplaying, you know, and I haven't done it much. I think I mentioned the only time I really did it was way back in like college. This is for a club, like our anime club or whatever, and we had our convention that we hosted. And I guess the long and short of it is you either wear formal wear or you had to cosplay as kind of our policy for people working at the staff of the convention. And I figured I don't want to be in a stuffy like suit or like kind of formal like kind of business casual sort of thing. So I figured, why not just dress up? And so I did that. And so I just got a random ass maid outfit from Amazon, got a wig, and it was pretty whatever, but it was still pretty fun. So I figured maybe someday I'll do it again. And then it took me many years until I actually did end up doing it again. But now I want to do more. You know, cosplay. Turns out cosplay is actually kind of fun. Who would have thought? It's kind of fun dressing up as characters. Characters that you like, especially if it's characters that you like never see anybody else really cosplay. Like, you know, you have like, I can't tell you the number of people who dressed up as Goldship or Tachyon. I think like that was like by far the two most common cosplays in the meetups. I think there were at least like 5 of each of them. Whereas I think like other characters, there's like barely like 1. Like there was like, I distinctly remember the one Satono Diamond cosplayer, and like every time there was like the group of like, oh, season 3, like people come on up, and then she would be like the only one there because nobody else was represented. Like there were no Kita-sans, no Shubal Grands, no like Satono Crowns, none of those. It was like literally just her, and it was just like, so she was like, shot like, oh man, okay, I can go up again. It was just like, oh man. That's kind of awkward. I feel that. I could only, unfortunately, join in on front runners and the training uniforms, because that was what I did. I'm excited. We'll see. We'll see if anybody. If anybody, I'm just gonna, and I don't know if this is a good idea, but I'm just gonna say this right now. If anybody else is in an Ines cosplay in Anime Expo, and if I run into them, I don't know. I will bet you money that I will not see anybody else in an Ines cosplay. And if I do, I will pay somebody money. I don't know how that's gonna work logistically, but we're just gonna, I am so confident. In fact, if anything, I'd be really curious if anybody's in a Dansu cosplay, despite the fact that she was even in the movie. Because that is something I do want to do also. Like maybe Ines with the training uniform, and then Dansu in the school uniform. I'm still, obviously, ooh, got the S distance, nice. Obviously, my cosplay and, I guess, sewing skills are still not to the standard of where I can kind of create my own clothes like this. Like, I cannot. Like, creating something like this racing uniform, brother, hell no. Maybe someday, maybe that might be a pipe dream. There's a little bit of me that kind of wants to maybe do a sewing class, or like a clothes creating class, because I have done classes in the past in like art schools and stuff. I've learned how to crochet from those classes. I've learned how to create like those amigurumis, which is kind of the crochet dolls. So there's a little part of me that kind of wants to maybe take a class on that, and I think that could be kind of interesting. Sorry, the reason why I'm stalling is because this is terrible and I hate these. So let's just do dreams. So yeah, maybe I might do that, and then learn how to sew or use a sewing machine, and then kind of evolve my cosplay creating skills, and then actually create my own stuff. Because Lord knows there are no Ines Fujin cosplays out there. Actually, I take that back. There are. I actually seen some. They do not look good though. So I have to take it to myself to actually make my own when it comes to like her racing uniform and stuff. So we will see if that comes to fruition. Just putting that idea out there, similar to how I said maybe I might cosplay Ines. I think I need to put these ideas out there and stream on the internet for people to hold me accountable. Be like, hey, have you done this yet? And I'm like, nah, not yet. And then it's just, and then I feel bad about it. That's apparently that's the only way to get me to actually do stuff. Well, not the only way, but it's the biggest way, I guess. Most effective. The Oaks. Japanese Oaks. But yeah, that's I think those are the biggest things that are kind of been on my mind recently. Comiket, moving, Anime Expo / Off-Kai Expo to an extent, but Off-Kai isn't until like late July, which we still have a little bit. I know they did announce the schedule for that. And I'm a little bit bummed because I didn't realize that the events were going to go on all the way until like the end of the third day. Because I thought, you know, most conventions, like the last day is usually kind of like the chill day. Like, you know, stuff usually closes pretty early. So I thought that would be the case. But they have panels going all the way until like 5 p.m. on Sunday, which is kind of crazy. And so I was like, ah, shoot, maybe I should change my ticket to leave later. And then I found out that I can't do that unless I pay a lot of money, because I kind of did get a pretty cheap ticket. So that's probably not going to happen, which is fine. I mean, honestly, like, I don't think it's really that worth. I think the cost benefit of like kind of staying there, but like getting back home super late isn't worth it, especially since I'm going to be going back to work, literally driving to the office the next day. So I think it'd be a lot better for me if I just kind of get back home early, just kind of relax, try to make the most of what little time I have left before I have to go back to being a working person, a working penguin. So, and I think that worked out when I did that for Fanime, because man, let me tell you, after Fanime I was exhausted, but I was so glad I got back. I think I got back like home like 7 p.m. that Sunday, so at least I got like a couple of hours to kind of unpack, rewind, refresh, and then get ready for that next week. That actually really did help. Let me see, what are we doing here? Oh, I see what we're doing here. We're doing dreams, and I actually have enough for 455, which is absolutely wunderbar, as the kids would say. Nobody actually says that. All right. Dank memes. That was I didn't even plan that. That just kind of worked out on its own. Amazing. I have not been really paying attention to this run, but so far it's been going pretty good. We've already got the first requirement here at medium. Already got medium. Now we just need the stats and the skills, and then everything will fall into place to meet that fourth requirement. Fingers crossed. Look at that, see? 455. 455. Okay. Okay. Ooh, spicy meatballs. A spicy meatball. I should have, I'm gonna regret the fact that I didn't really eat anything before the stream, mainly because I just got back from gym. And by gym I mean cardio. Running. I've started to slowly increment, or not increment, slowly come back to the treadmill, because I think I mentioned I used to do exclusively just kind of running to Umamusume, which is honestly really good for running purposes, until I started getting shin splints, which I used to have back in high school when I did way too much running and tennis at the same time. And then I realized, you know, I should just take it easy, so rather than just always doing running, I'm kind of mixing it up between treadmill and elliptical, and then just kind of mixing in weights, kind of do some free form exercise from there as well, and I think it's worked out pretty well. So today was treadmill day. It was very productive, very Uma, very running, pretending I was a Umamusume of my dreams. But because of that, I didn't really have too much time between that and then the shower and then this to eat anything. So TBD on how hungry I am, how hungry I end up being. On exercise days, I usually try to come back home early so I can, especially on Wednesdays. I think Mondays it's not as really needed, just because I don't usually stream on those days. But Wednesday I try to leave the option open so that, you know, I don't come back home, do all the routines, and then, you know, come back and then suddenly like 5:45 and I'm like, oh, do I want to stream? Oh, it's kind of too late now, or something like that. So it kind of worked out too, because I actually needed to go to the mechanic today, get the car checked up, which apparently they told me that oh, you didn't need to come this early, because it was supposed to be for your like every year or so, like you come in every year to get your car fixed up, to make sure it's all good, blah blah blah. But I got the warning on my car being like, hey, you need to go to your daily maintenance, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll schedule it. Which, funny story about that, I originally scheduled this maintenance for last week, This was at a place that was actually pretty close to me, like honestly walking distance, if anything. So I tried scheduling something for that first. This was last Friday. So I scheduled all that. I was like, okay, great, you know, I'll go over there, you know, it'll be kind of towards the end of my workday, but it's fine. They're pretty chill about me doing whatever. So I do that. I drive over there. There are no signs or anything, and it's just like it's just a lot of cars. And so like I'm trying to find like where I'm supposed to like put my car, or like kind of park or anywhere for like service. I like go around the parking lot like twice trying to find it, and I just could not find it. And so I just gave up, and I was like, okay, well, fuck, I don't want to deal with this. So I just gave, and then it was kind of funny because they didn't even call me or anything, be like, hey, you missed your appointment, because I specifically made an appointment. They just did not like give any sort of like, hey, like you missed this, or you know, like, hey, you want to reschedule this? It's like nothing. So I decided to reschedule for today. Figuring that unfortunately the next closest place to me is not very close to my place, is not close to my home, but there was a place that was like a 20-minute drive from my work. So I was like, okay, you know, maybe I can just take a lunch break, drop off my car, go back, work, that kind of thing, which I did. So that's what I did today. And then so I left work early, picked up the car, drove back home, and then I got back home around the same time I usually do anyway. So it kind of all worked out. Dreams. I just wasted 2 minutes just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, only to realize I just needed to do dreams. But no, the car's good. They also gave it a car wash, which is good because I really actually need to go to the car wash. So kind of 2 birds with 1 stone sort of thing. Actually 3 birds with 1 stone, because I actually was for the longest time I actually drove my car with there was a warning that was like, oh, low windshield wiper fluid. You have no windshield wiper fluid, which is kind of crazy because that came up like really early when I had my car. But I've been way too lazy to actually fill up my windshield wiper. I actually bought windshield wiper fluid just for that, and a funnel, but I never took the time to actually fill it up. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just let them do it in maintenance or whatever, you know. And then because the warning popped up when I was like, oh, maybe I should do this. And it's like, you know, they'll do it anyway. And then they did, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's 3 birds with 1 stone. And took care of the maintenance. That warning's gone, and now my car is clean for the most part. So everything's good. Everything's coming up nice, and everything's coming up Millhouse, as they say. So I say that despite never have watched any Simpsons episodes. Fun fact. Yeah, I've actually... Hold on, have I ever... No, I have never watched any Simpsons. Like, not even a single episode. I guess I have... From being on the baseball subreddit so much, I've pretty much gotten all the references from that one baseball episode they had with, like all the all-stars from, like... This is back in the 90s, honestly, so it was, like, Don Mattingly, Ken Griffey Jr., those kinds of guys. I don't remember when that episode aired, but I don't think it was back then, but it probably would have been a long time ago. But like explicitly actually watching an episode, I've never done that. And I'm sure I've heard many complaint about how it's still going and how it's long past its prime, similar to a lot of kind of television out there, like a bob of sponge, as they say. Speaking of that, I haven't watched an episode of that in a while. I don't know, maybe it's okay now, but I remember I explicitly remember, wasn't there like an episode with like Bubble Bass, and apparently Bubble Bass is now like a kind of a main-ish character now. He's not just like a side guy character. And apparently there was one where he was like they were kind of parodying Nostalgia Critic, and he was like being the guy. He had like the was it fedora? No, like the little kind of beanie cap thing or whatever. Not beanie, newspaper boy cap. He had that, and then he had this like anime body pillow or whatever, and it's just like, oh man, y'all are really just really trying to pander over here, huh? But oh shoot, I really need to. Okay, I have been way behind on these. I need to get some of these date events going. Let's do that. No. Yeah, and I should also semi-pay attention to this run, because it's actually kind of good right now. This is actually kind of a decent, we got kind of a decent thing going. Kind of. And we already got this medium, so I just need to make sure that we don't flub it, which is easier said than done. Okay, I should be able to maybe I might be able to salvage being able to get all of the data events going. Not that that's the most important thing, but you know, I don't want to leave no stone unturned. Ooh, spicy. Now that's what I call a spicy meatball. I should really stop mentioning food. I think the more I mention the food, the more I'm going to end up being hungry in the long term. Well, it's a good thing I already got that medium, huh? Because I sure didn't get it this time. Not that it really matters. We got Nail Universe is unique. I don't think it really applies here, but I'll take it anyway. Ooh, that's actually pretty good. That's also pretty good. These are both pretty good. I'm gonna take this one. Okay, now if I do, let me big think. Oh, that's a spicy meatball right there. But I wish that wasn't Marsh. I kind of wish that was somebody else, so I can take full advantage. Excuse me, I can take full advantage of the data event that I'm gonna have to eventually do later. But I'm still gonna do this because that's a fat stack. That's a fat stat gain right there. We love to see some fat stat gains. Victoria Melee. Speaking of Miles, I don't know why this reminded me of the World Cup. How's that going? There's a game going on right now, right? I noticed. I saw England won today. Oh, Ghana won against Pam, and Portugal tied against the Congo Dominican Republic, which is actually kind of a steam. Isn't that is pretty shocking? That is actually pretty crazy. And then the last game today is Uzbekistan and Colombia. All right, and then that's it. And then it's finally everybody finally finished one game, and then we go back around once more, and then it's back to Group A and B tomorrow, and that's where Korea and Mexico comes into play. So boy, I think let me big think here. Kind of in a pickle here, honestly, because if I do this date event, I only get one boost gain or gauge boost, which is not my favorite. I'm also not going to get 858 at this rate, which is not the biggest loss. Honestly, I think 858 is way too honestly, it's pretty overrated. That's just my opinion. But I kind of do want to do this last date event because I get the energy boosts. And I think that's really going to come into play during the summer training, because if I don't have enough energy during the summer training, that's going to really hinder my options. So we're going to just, we're going to let that play. And then I'll do the date events, and we'll see how those go. Those will go very good. That's pretty good. Yeah, we're off by one. We still needed like one more, but it wasn't really that close, so I'm not really too bothered by it. Okay. One more. I'll do it on speed. I think that's probably fair. Well, actually, hold on. Do we do it on power? Let's do it on power. My reasoning is that I think it's easier to get fat stat gains on speed than it is on the other ones. And so I'm kind of hedging my bets on that. Playing out. I love pausing right at that moment there just to see the disappointed Casino Drive. Her nickname is Casino, or is it Drive? I don't know. It's one of those two. Or it could be both. It could be both. Just like Sei and Sky. You could call her Sei-chan, you can call her Sky, you can call her anything. Okay, time for another summer training. See, this is what I'm talking about. Fat stat gains. Look at that. That's exactly what I was hoping for. See, look at that. Fat stat gains. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Except, more than anything, that's a... no, I shouldn't complain. That's still pretty good. Could be better, but, I mean, I'm really... Then I end up really being nitpicky there. Being like, oh, it could... You see, that's what I'm talking about. That could be better. There it is. There it is, being better. Do I take that? 1800. Yeah, I'll take that one. I know. The only reason why I hesitated was because that's going to leave me at some pretty low energy. But I think I can make it work. Oh my god, are you kidding me, brother? Brother. I don't want to risk... I don't even want to really risk that. I'm gonna... hedge my... I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna heal. And then we'll hope that we get an even better one later. Nope, we aren't, actually. Joke's on me, we aren't, actually. Okay, I need... If I do that, that gets me to 2025. That's a really iffy number on the speed side. Because if I do one more speed training, that's automatically going to put it at max a little bit too early. But then, oh, hold on, we're off by 200. Oh, that helps, actually. That really helps. That's beautiful. Oh, chef's kiss. I love it. Okay. That makes it less horrible. Although it's still kind of iffy, honestly, the speed side. Because we're off by, yeah, like... What is that, like 160? So... Oh, that's so good, though. Oh, that's so good, though. Oh my god, I made a terrible mistake of not hedging my... playing all these too early, because it's going to be like, oh, you need to do your dreams. Oh, Nikes. Shrimpingtons. Okay, because here's the thing, if I do that... Let's see, 130... I mean, I might still do... Hold on. Let's see. I'll do this first. Not that the order really makes a difference, but I'll do stamina and then I'll do speed. And then that at least guarantees that the speed is going to be maxed out. But now my concern is I think the stamina and the power are not going to be the levels we want. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to be the run. Sad face. Sad face. Hey, it's Santa Anita. I've been there before. Alright, let's see her dominate in the San Gabriel Valley Mountains. That's not what they call those, but... Speaking of which, for those of you who live in this area, I'm sure y'all are dealing with this as I am. Stay inside because there's a fire apparently that has released a lot of toxic gas and chemicals and stuff like ammonia. So if you live close to like kind of that area where the fire is being affected, don't go outside. I didn't smell it personally, but apparently it's getting pretty bad. So like it's gonna get close, or it has gotten close. I don't know. Either way, so that's not good. That's probably not good. So yeah, if you're in Santa Anita, I don't think that area is affected, but if you're there right now, leave, go home, or like stay inside or something. Unless you want to breathe toxic chemicals in. Yeah, I was it's funny because I was driving back, and then I was like looking at like my news feed and stuff on Reddit, and it was just like, oh, there's so many posts from like the Los Angeles suburbs being like, oh, what's this smoke, or what's this weird cloud in the air, and it's like, oh, there's all these posts about like, oh, toxic fire as like chemicals, it's like a stay inside mandate, blah blah blah, and it's like, nice. I love I love being in I love breathing toxic chemicals. That's my favorite. So yeah, we'll It's fine. You know, I wasn't planning on going outside today. Thank goodness it happened today and not tomorrow, because if it happened tomorrow, that would be really bad. Because then that ruins my plans, man, and then I won't be able to watch South Korea and Mexico with the whole crowd and stuff. And I won't be able to experience the true nature of Koreatown and the Los Angeles spirit and all that. Because you believe you me not, if the Czechia game was anything, which it was, that was good, but I'm sure this is going to be even better, since they're also holding it in a park that is a lot bigger. I think in anticipation for there being a lot more people. So I think it's gonna, and apparently they're opening the gates, or they're opening the area at like 10 a.m. Mind you, the game starts at 6 p.m. So yeah, that's crazy. I'm low-key thinking of leaving work a little early just to head over there, make sure I get a good place to sit. Because it starts an hour earlier than it did last week. And even last week, I barely found I found a pretty good seat. Like it was in a good area, shaded, which was helpful for the early hours of that game because it was still bright out. But even then, I saw, when I was looking at the crowd behind me, I was like, everybody's standing. I was like, oh my god, that's a lot of people. So if you arrived there, I think right as the game started, there was no good area to sit or stand in. You would not have been able to see the screen. That's why you gotta get there a few hours earlier. Gotta experience the sites. They were giving there was like a few companies giving out free samples, so I got free samples of like Shin Ramyeon and like Korean snacks and stuff. So that was pretty fun. Oh, UA8, that's not too bad. Again, could be better. Could be better. That's the frustrating part about this, is that if we could get like these stats up plus like not even 100, like maybe like 50 for all of these, this would have been easy US. So that's just the frustrating part about it. But it's a little frustrating, yes, but it's also like, you know, I already have an okay Aruvu anyway, so like I'm not like, you know, like panicking last minute trying to be like, oh no, I don't have anything, oh god. It's fine, you know, we have it. So I'm just greedy, and I want more. That's thumbs up. And there's Tsuyoshi being sick again. Oh, Tsuyoshi, we love you for being you. This reminds me of one of my favorite area conversations, which also happens to be birthday conversation with, I think it was Tsuyoshi. Hold on. Tsuyoshi's second birthday conversation, I think. It's with her, Halo, or not Halo, her, Teo, and Symboli Rudolph. There it is, yeah. And then it's like Symboli Rudolph being like, oh, happy birthday to her son. And then her son's doing that. And then, yeah, her son almost dying. That's fun. That's really it. That's I don't know. I have low standards. Speaking of which, I feel like there was something else I wanted to mention. Nah, I think that's it. I think going back to Bouquetd'or, which the stream I did on Sunday, a few follow-ups from that. I already mentioned, you know, obviously the romantic connections, the romantic connotations of that whole story, relationship, whatever, is very high up there. But I also did find it funny that I think I mentioned, you know, I was like, man, what if anything is her relationship with Karen-chan gonna be? And it actually turns out that I mean, they have a lot of scenes in her main story, and it is actually because they are childhood friends, which is kind of funny. You know, it's like, oh, Karen-chan and Bouquetd'or. Karen Bouquetd'or, I mean, obviously they're both Karens, but it's kind of funny seeing them being like, oh, Osanajimi, you know, that kind of thing. And like Karen's trying to get Bouquetd'or to be more assertive or whatever. And apparently Karen also played a little bit of part in designing Bouquetd'or's outfit, which, you know, props to her. That outfit slaps. It as the kids say, it's very, what do the kids say these days? I don't even know what they say these days, but I'm sure they say something about it that I have no idea about. but it is very good. Nice. Continuing on the Philly and Mare turf, because I like that path a lot better than the turf path. No. Okay, I'm just gonna get Casino Drive up in the air first. Up in the air, arms like I just don't care. Oh, wow! Thank you for the date event. Okay, oh, wow! I was not expecting that to literally pop up. That is the fastest I've gotten that. Granted, that's tied for the fastest because that's literally the first turn you meet her. Okay, sure. I will take it. I will absolutely take that. I will not say no to that. Already a very good start. I'll just say that. But just because it's a good start doesn't mean we finish good. You know, it's all about the motion in the ocean. You gotta keep a consistent pace, or otherwise nobody's gonna be happy about it. Even Aruvu agrees. You will rest. You will give me stats and also rest energy. That's what that means. Yeah. We'll do Espo. She needs to start getting into the conversation. You need to rest. Okay. Ooh, we will take the multi. I will take that. Thank you very much. You need to... Okay, actually, you know what? Nah, you don't need to rest. This is the one exception. One of the few times I'm actually not going to do that one. Mainly because she had full energy. Okay. Spicy beans. Sure, I'll take the energy this time. And then... yeah, I'll do that just so I can get Aruvu, because that's not going to be enough. Yeah, I'm going to do one more with her. Unless, no. I was going to be like, unless one of her events pops up, which it did not. So instead, I'm just going to do this. And now she's good. And now we'll get Friendship Rainbow training. This one. Featuring Swimsuit Tachyon. I anticipate a lot of people are going to be excited for Swimsuit Tachyon whenever she comes out in the English version. For many a reason. One of which being she's a very popular character. But also, I admittedly also kind of like that costume. Speaking from a admittedly somewhat of a Gunner perspective, I kind of like the way it looks. I don't know. I just like the... And this is going to be super... This whole train of thought is going to be super Gunner, so forgive me. But I feel like sometimes, you know, there is a little bit of a kind of a truth in the fact that... What is it called? It's tasteful nudity, right? It's like because you see so, at least for me, it's like you have so much access to the pornography and the lewds and all that stuff that just seeing like just straight up naked bodies, it's just like, okay, it kind of gets old. There comes some kind of points where it's like, you know, seeing them in different seeing like it's just like they're not just fully nude, like for example, like, you know, he's just like kind of certain, how do I say this in a way that isn't super creepy, like it's different aspects of the way, because like for example, like bare bat god, this whole train of thought is just so, it's so yabai. But I definitely have thought about this a little bit. Like, you think of, like, kind of, like... Because obviously you have... H-dojins out there that kind of, you know, all that content is available. But it comes to a point where sometimes I feel like maybe this might be just me being desensitized to seeing all of it. And then you kind of get some more kind of, like, kind of things that you would kind of consider more ecchi than anything, like not just straight up like kind of 18 plus sort of thing, where you're like, dang, that's actually kind of hot. Maybe it's just me trying to like reset expectation of stuff or something like that, but I don't know. I'm trying to, I don't know what point I'm trying to make here. All I'm saying is that that swimsuit outfit is pretty good. I think that's the actual conclusion we'll make from that. Okay. Like, I think I'm trying to think, because there was the example, and I think I mentioned this when I was talking about my experience with Fanime. There was a print that I was actually super interested in getting. It was not technically 18 plus, but it was lewd for the most part. Like it was a character. They had pretty much all their outfit except the underpart. So it was like their jacket that was like covering up bits that were, you know, that would have made it like, you know, lewd, I guess, for lack of a better term, 18 plus NSFW. It already kind of was NSFW, but you know what I'm talking about. And I actually found that pretty good. I was like, dang, I actually kind of like this. And I feel like that actually got my attention more than a lot of the stuff that I saw at the night market, where those were just straight up, like, kind of straight up, hey, naked body, hey, you know, like, sex, you know, that kind of thing. It's kind of interesting how that works, you know, it's just like, and I guess it really also depends on, you know, like, a lot of other factors that I will not dive too deeply into, because I think we've not exhausted this topic, but getting a little bit too deep into it, so I'm gonna move on. I don't even know how. Oh yeah, swimsuit talk. I was like, how did I even get to this topic in the first place? Swimsuit Takion. Shaking my head. Swimsuit outfits in gacha games. Always putting people in positions. Which I've talked about it before, and I know that's also been a point that's been brought up, is that the swimsuit outfits in this game honestly kind of become more and more tame. Or I should say, in other words, it becomes more and more, I guess, covered up. Like, in a sense that it does become kind of a little bit more creative, but it also becomes a hindrance where it's like, this doesn't look like a swimsuit. Like, if you look at, even I think like the ones that's coming up, which is a swimsuit, Gold Ship, and the McQueen. Like, Gold Ship's very swimsuit-like. Yeah, okay, that's a one piece. Yep, makes sense. McQueen's is like if you haven't seen it, it's like a dress. It's like a kind of a see-through dress, but not really. But she is still obviously wearing like the like swimsuit part. You just can't see it very well. So for the most part, it just looks like a dress that she's wearing. And for the longest time, I thought it was literally just a dress until I looked a little bit closer, and it's like, wait, there's actually a little bit of like the swimsuit in there underneath all the dress part. And I was like, dang, that does not really look like a swimsuit. But even like, and then another example of that is, I think, like Hoko Tarumae, which is another horse that actually isn't even in the game yet for English version. Her swimsuit does not look like it's literally just. And actually, here, let me even try to pull it up, because I need to show examples of this shit. It does not look like a swimsuit. It just looks like a casual, like, beach outfit. And I guess it can I guess it can be a swimsuit, but it's just like, it's not what I was expecting. What is this shenanigans? Here, let me Swiss summer. Do I have to search summer? Yeah, okay. Oh, perfect. Okay, this is all the these are all the upcoming swimsuit outfits, and I guess they call them summer outfits, so maybe that's how they can get away with it. It's like, oh, it's not a swimsuit, so, you know, it's like, oh, it's a little bit it's not exactly yeah, well, okay, these don't count because these are summer trip, but like you see here, like, you know, obviously you have Marzensky, you have Special Week. Those are kind of the two. The first one, obviously, Marzensky's is very it is what it is. Same with Special Week. McQueen's here, you see this, right? It's like you see this, and you're like, that doesn't look like a swimsuit. And then you kind of look closer. It's like, oh yeah, there is, and she's not really that is you know, I guess there's the swim top there, and then if you look closer at the bottom there, um, and then yeah, Gold Ship is Gold Ship, so you know she is that. But then you have something, yeah, Tachyon. I mean, like I said, Tachyon, pretty good, and then Suzuka. Suzuka's is also kind of a little bit, but also like if you know, you know, right? You know, so. And then I guess this doesn't show the bottom, which I guess I really wish it kind of did, because this is just like a wraparound. It's not like a actual like a bikini bottom. It's just like kind of like a dress, wrapped dress. And the thing I like about Takyons too is the fact that it has like it doesn't also have it does have the bottom, but it also has like the pants that are unzipped, which also kind of adds a little bit to it low key. But this is the outfit I'm talking about, the Hoko Taramai one. Like this does not really look like a swimsuit, right? I mean, if you look really closely, I guess you notice you have the top here. But this kind of feels more like a sports bra sort of thing than anything. And then you got the overalls, which kind of also adds to that. Mind you, these are like short overalls, so it's not like it's not like the long sleeve in that sense. But you have that, and then you also have Aishin Flash, who, you know, this is, you know, she has like the top here, which you know, covers things up a little bit more. So you notice kind of, you know, it kind of gets to the point of where it's like, okay, they're kind of becoming more and more covered. And then, you know, obviously there's exceptions, you know, Satono Crown and Vivlos are a little bit more so, not really. I don't know what the point I'm trying to make here is. I'm just saying, like, there are some later swimsuit outfits that are just like, it really is not, it's not really swimsuits. I would not consider them to be that. Like, okay, what the heck? The game has decided to crash on me. The game has decided that it heard my opinions about the swimsuit outfits, and it's like, no, that is not allowed. The horse people are coming to get me, and they're gonna be here in approximately 10 minutes to beat me up. So guess we'll have to make do until then. Anywho, back to Aruvu, who has yet to have an alternate outfit yet, which is fair because she just came out literally like a few months ago. I don't like any of these. Well, it's a good thing I have to do dreams. Dreams training. More like creams training. Got him. And by this point, we're gonna get Aruvu up to a B, or not, sorry, Aruvu, Yanko up to a B. That's pretty wild. Some wild Umamusume. Oh, rulership. Nice. Rulership. So now that Bouquetd'or is out, I guess if I look at the list of characters that still have yet to be announced, Daring Tact, Rulership, and Martial Lorraine are kind of, I guess, my top 3 of characters that I really want out. And since I got Bouquetd'or through tickets, I still have like 18k carrots, 18,000 carrots that I can use for whoever the next character is going to be whenever they come out. So hopefully it's one of those 3, and even by then, I don't know when the next banner comes out. I think it actually might be in like a week, 2 weeks, a week and a half, one of those time frames. Hopefully by then I should have a little bit more gems saved up, so I can get even more potential in case my luck does not continue, which I'm assuming it doesn't, because I don't think I can get that lucky. I need to do dreams. You're so right, game. Thank you for this wonderful reminder. That's actually not that big of a difference. Low key, high key. Yeah, I'm gonna do that so I can say that the stamina isn't at a horrible pace. Alright. Excellent. Wow, excellent. I don't know what that voice was. I am not a voice actor. I am not good with the voices. I like to think that I try, but not an expert when it comes to that field. Ooh, 20. No, wait, hold on. What am I doing? Crazy madman. Okay, there we go. Look at casino in the whatever area that is. Who do they think they are? I am. Who do you think you are? I am. It's still one of my favorite sports moments to this day. The guy was an asshole, but it's fucking hilarious. I mean, bowling alley and the guy who he gets the strike to clinch the championship, and then he's like screams at the guy who's heckling him. He's like, "Yeah, who do you think?" Is like he goes on this whole tirade. It's like, "Yeah, that's right, I did it. I was the one who did it. Who do you think you are? I am." Hold on, I gotta pull that up. That whole moment is iconic. Yeah, actually, let me look this up. We'll go on a little tangent break. I always love me a good break. A good tangent. Who do you think? Yeah, there it is. Who do you think I am? Perfect. I love it. I definitely have shown this on stream at one point, but that was probably a while back, so I don't mind showing it again because I think it's fucking hilarious. You know what? I should have this as a I don't know if this might be a green screen thing, but like as a sound. I need to work on sound similar to how I have my channel, similar to how I have channel redeem points for like clips and stuff, like green screen stuff. I need to have some for like sound bites, and I think this would be a really good one. This one I think would be it.
Strike to claim it, a strike to claim it, and he got it! Are you kidding me? That's right! Who do you think you are? I am!
Who do you think you are? I am. I love the context of it. Is like also the fact that like apparently there's a fan who was like just heckling him like crazy, and then this was his response after he won. Apparently this guy's also kind of a huge asshole, so yeah, but like you can still kind of laugh at him for that. But yeah, who do you think you are? I am. It's your daily reminder. Anywho, whoops. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Anyway, where are we with this? I don't really like any of these options. I guess I'll go with that one. Get the digital and play. The one thing I am, this is a whole completely different change in topic, so apologies in advance, but the one thing I am kind of excited for, as with kind of every convention that I usually go to, one thing I am excited is to see how many people do I'm sure the one thing, honestly, I would say, yeah, I would honestly say I don't know if this is the biggest benefit from UMA releasing on global, but it is definitely a big benefit, is that now that whenever you go to conventions, there's so many artists that do UMA kind of merch. Granted, if you have a favorite character that is not popular, it feels like it doesn't matter, because you know, if you're like me and you have Ines as your favorite character and nobody does any art of her, then you're like, well, what's the fucking point? But then when you do find out one artist that does have something of her, then you're like, holy shit, wow, amazing. But that hasn't happened. Actually, I shouldn't say that hasn't happened yet. That has happened once. But I am really hopeful that maybe there might be an Ines out there in one of the Artist Alley's booths. And I mentioned, I think before, I'm not looking forward to Artist Alley in Anime Expo, just because I know that space apparently got cut in half this year, and it's already fucking hell in terms of like kind of the crowds and stuff, so I cannot imagine how bad it's going to be. So that's going to be a real fun trip to kind of go through. But we'll deal with it, or I'll deal with it, I guess. To try and see if anybody has any Ines stuff. I know the artist who made the little keychain of Ines that I do have is going to Anime Expo, because I saw a post about it on Twitter. So I know they're coming, and so I can tell them, hey, I have Ines. You're the only person that I've seen that has Ines stuff ever in the conventions I've been to, so thank you. I appreciate a big preach for for having. honestly, Big Preach for having... They have, I think, pretty much almost all of the Umas, the trainable Umas in JP right now, as key, like little kind of like little mini keychains. So honestly, big props to them. You know, really repping for some of the for us fans who don't have any merch of our favorites, of our Oshis. So thank you very much. Even my second favorite character doesn't have that much merch, which is kind of surprising. Well, when all comes to push and shove, at least my other top 5 favorite characters are popular, you know, Tannhäuser, Oguri Cap, Tamamocross. Or sorry, no, Nature, Tannhäuser, Tamamocross, and then Oguri, so, you know. It's not like I'm starved for content. At least I have some old reliables I can fall back to. Okay, let's see what we got here. I definitely need to do this because of the SP difference, and it looks like I should be good somehow for 455, which is kind of interesting. Especially since Yanko is way ahead of everybody else, but yeah, that should work. Yeah, that is gonna be yep 8 or 455. So we are actually somehow good there. I don't know how, but it kind of worked out. And I see minimal difference here, so I'm just gonna put that in the stamina so we can get that caught up a little bit. Okay, what do you got for me this time? Casino Drive, if that even is your real name. What is a name? What is in a name anyway? Nobody knows. Names are overrated. Just use a series of grunts and high-pitched noises to communicate. That's how the cavemen did it. Why can't we just do that now? Don't even know, you know? Back in the old days. Back in the old days when we hunted for our own food and didn't have jobs that required us to sit in the same position for hours at a time. Which is why, you know, us doing that is not good for us because we weren't evolved to be like that in the first place. Crazy times. Okay. Ooh. Interesting. I think I kinda have to go with this one. I know the stat gain is not fat there, but considering I'm gonna get another gauge boost like that there, I think it was probably the safer decision. Oh boy. Oh hibbity. Hibbity hobbity. Step on my bobbity. I don't... What? What? I don't know. I think I'm going... We're getting to that point in the stream where I'm starting to get crazy, which it hasn't even been an hour and a half, so I think I'm starting to slowly lose it in general, so send help. We should... Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll get my brain checked. One of these days I feel like I do need to... Kinda serious, but also not serious. This is kind of half joking. I feel like sometimes I need to get my brain checked when it comes to some stuff. I just feel like my brain is in the gutter when it comes to anything. I think a really good example of that was way back in... This was way back when I still lived in, I think, Chicago. I was at a bookstore. I was looking, you know, because I like looking at stuff, you know, looking at books, being like, oh, this looks interesting, all that stuff. And there was a book that I saw, and I think I still have the picture of it. There was a book I saw that, when I first saw the title, I thought it said Bussy, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I read it again, and then it wasn't Bussy. But here, let me actually pull. I think I still have the image of it. Let me search it and see if I didn't delete it from my history. Where are you, Bussy? Oh, there it is. Oh no, sorry, not Bussy. No, this is a different example. I thought it was Ligma. I thought the book said Ligma because this is this is the book in question, right? Like I was just like kind of in the corner of my eye. I see this, and I'm like, Ligma, and then I'm like, no, it's Lingma. So I, yeah, I'm just need to get my brain checked. That's a lesson. Also, while we're here, let me pull up my I'm putting here so I don't accidentally dox myself with my camera roll here. I don't think I showed this, but this is the view that I had from the watch party when I was at the Koreatown watch party. Look at that, 2026 K-Town Watch Party Festival. Yeah, so you got the nice little crowd here. You got everybody sitting down. Everybody had like kind of like little picnic blankets, kind of whole setup there. I wasn't prepared, so I just sat on the ground like a fucking Neanderthal. But it was still a nice view. You got some good viewing. I picked the one that was kind of, and you notice kind of here, there's a little tree here. I picked that explicitly so I wasn't like gonna get blinded by the sun. And also this is the celebration after the win. Which, I don't know if y'all hear that. Very fun. Yeah, that was like that was like minutes after the win, so that wasn't like the immediate reaction, but very good time. Yeah, look at this. Can I zoom in? Look at this guy's like, yeah, that's how I felt. Very good, very good. Oh, that was a terrible Borat impression. That was just me trying to be all Borat. Anyway, moving on. Back to the actual meat of the matter, which is the game. And going back to the original topic, which I was talking about, which is the whole brain needing to be checked, another example I can think of is there was a stop in my commute, because I took the train. I used to take the train to go to work back when I lived in the city, the other city, the city known as Chicago. And there was a stop. There was a stop called Diversey, because it was like Diversey Boulevard or whatever. And every time the announcement for that stop got made, I just was like, oh, the bussy, because it kind of sounds like Diversey, the bussy. I don't know. That might be a stretch, but yeah. So yeah, the next stop is the bussy. Doors open on the right at the bussy. I know. I have the fucking humor of a 12-year-old. Actually, if I did actually have that, I'd probably be all like, 6, 7. Which I know that's probably outdated nowadays, let's be completely honest. That's how memes work nowadays. They lose relevance after about a few weeks, not even, like after a few days. That's how it feels like. Kids these days and their memes. I don't know what it's like. Kids with their beans, me and the boys looking for at 3 a.m. looking for beans. It's funny, like that's not even, that became its own meme more than anything. Oh, I thought my game froze there for a second. I was like, I heard the music, but I didn't see the screen. Alright, Victoria Mile. Let me big think here. Ooh. Not a spicy meatball. I have 2 dreams, 3 turns left. I kind of don't want to use a, this. 1, because that's only going to leave me with 1 for the rest of the senior year. And 2, because that's only going to give me 2 gauge boost, which is not ideally using that. So I'm actually going to do something that may be kind of crazy here, which is I'm going to do dreams here. And I'm going to do it on... I'm going to do it on one of... I was originally going to do it on wits, But now I'm thinking that may not be the best idea because it's already pretty high up there. So maybe I might just do it on power, hope that I get a good wit training or something better, and then end with the last dreams training. Okay, never mind. Fuck me. Okay. I was like, that's still a good stat gain, which is really what I'm all about. And that's energy gain, so thank you, Bouquetd'or. Or as I like to call her now, Bucketd'or. Oh, that's so good. Why couldn't I get that? Why could I not get this literally the last turn? I swear, man. It's like when you play Cards Against Humanity and you play a card and then you draw a card and it's like, oh my god, this is the exact card that would have been so funny for this prompt. I feel like that happens a lot. Granted, I have not played that game in years, so... But I just remember that being like a universal thing where people will be like, oh man, I guess I'll play this, and then they draw a card and it's like, oh man, this would have been so good. It's a very universal feeling. But that game does kind of get old if you play for too much. Like, there's only so much replayability value. I mean that's what the expansions are for, I guess. But it's also just like, to what effect? Because then it's like, you know, that just prolongs the problem. That's why I like games that actually have more replay value. For instance, Sequence, which is the game that my work team plays during lunch. That has infinite replay value for sure. Like that game. All the possibilities. The possibilities are endless. You know, they've been playing that game for, honestly, a long time. Year plus, and it still calls for some fun moments. It's like baseball, you know? It's like, it's like baseball has been played for a century plus, honestly. And there's still moments where it's like, wow, this has never happened in the history of the sport. And you're like, really? That's kind of crazy. It's not even like a very cherry pick stat. It's like, I can't believe that's never happened. Crazy times. Crazy sports. Crazy boys. Crazy bus. Crazy bus. Isn't that that's the Arthur thing, right? It's like, or is that, yeah. That crazy bus, silly bus? It's something bus. Crazy taxi? No, I think it's like crazy bus. It's that song that DW likes that drives Arthur mad. Man, Arthur was such a good show. That's I think I've definitely talked about it in a previous stream how I remember when the final episode of that came out, I was like, oh my god, wow, it's still well, my first few thoughts were, one, it's still going, and two, wow, it's actually ending. And so I actually watched the final episode because I think they made it available on YouTube and stuff. So, and it was jarring to see the animation change, because apparently they changed the way they animated the characters, which looked really weird, so I was not used to that. Also, too, the fact that there were like new characters that I had no idea who the fuck they were, because apparently they got introduced like way after I watched it. But it was a nice ending. I like the time skipped aspect of it, so I was very pleased as somebody who kind of grew up with that show. Always good to come back to childhood nostalgia and all that. I don't really like any of my options here, but I think I'll just see, the reason I'm struggling, the reason why I'm like, I don't want to do this, is because if I do this, I won't have enough energy, and then I want to do a date event. But then if I do a date event, that's gonna not, because then I'll have only 2 gauge left here. I guess I'll just do this though, because I guess why not? But it's not my favorite. Not my favorite option. Unless, okay, I was gonna say unless the wit option comes in and that comes in clutch. That was a very clutch move. Thank you, game. I'll take my stamina. I'll take my stamina recovery skill. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness, hot damn. The wit is high. The ass was fat. God, that's also another Arthur meme. I mean, that's more of a 4chan meme. I guess that's kind of loosely tied to Arthur, but like that is a 4chan meme. Which 4chan, God, what a shit show. The only good thing to come out of 4chan was Katawa Shoujo. In my unbiased, very opinion. Like that game was honestly the gateway to all of this, honestly, if I have to be completely honest. Please give me a yes, that's what we love to see. Did I also get a Mile A? Really? I don't need that, but I guess I'll take it. No, because Katana Shoujo was honestly the driving force behind me actually kind of getting a little bit more into, like, anime manga sort of culture. It was really visual novels that kind of really got me started on it, but then I started diving a bit more into other stuff. But it really was it was that game that originally led me to kind of interest in, oh, this is actually kind of a nice story, and then, oh, anime actually has good stories, and it's not all just tentacle porn. So fun times there. But man, that game, I always have it'll always have a soft spot in my heart for. I think if I read it now, definitely probably wouldn't hold up, because I feel like I've read a lot of visual novels since then that are better, admittedly, in terms of like stories and stuff, but like it'll still hold a special place in my heart for being the first, for sure. Especially Lily. Like Lily, oh my god, that final scenes in the good route for Lily. I'm not gonna say anything about it because obviously spoilers, but oh my god, it still touches my heart. And speaking from because apparently today's the Gooner stream. Speaking from a Gooner perspective, the H scenes of Lily's, and some of the H scenes from other routes too, are also kind of the lemons. If you know Katana Shoujo, and I mentioned lemons, I think you know what I'm talking about. That scene was just funny. But no, what I'm talking about with I think some of the Lily scenes were actually like really like, damn, this is actually kind of it's actually kind of hot, not gonna lie. There was the one I think where what was his face? Hisao, I think that's his name, got blindfolded, and then they did the stuff with that. Actually, kind of interesting, not gonna lie. I was like, oh, maybe I might be interested in that too. Who knows? But anyway, yeah. But no, Lily best girl for sure. Lily 100% best girl. And biased of, I think that she had the best route as well. And also the best leaf motif. Terrible pronunciation. Leaf motif in terms of the song and stuff, like Concord, right? Concord, and then kind of conversely Nocturne, which I think is kind of more Akira song, but like, you know, it's just kind of also very good. I occasionally go back to the Katana Shoujo soundtrack because parts of it are available on Spotify. I actually have this playlist saved somewhere, but yeah, it's very good. And occasionally I'll revisit it just to be like, I remember nostalgic memories, and then, you know, listening to it, I was like, yes. I'm a sucker for visual novel sort of slice of lifey type songs. So like for Katana Shoujo, for example, like I think there's like the tracks like Air Guitar, Raindrop and Puddles, the Student Council, like those tracks are really, I think, some of my favorites. Or like not my favorites per se, but they're definitely classics for me. If I'm talking favorite track, I think, like I said, I think Nocturne, Red Velvet. Red Velvet is also really good because that's the track with Lily's first date, or the restaurant date with Lily, right? That one was also very, and also I guess the scene with Hanako with the pool game or whatever. Same track. I just didn't really. I think Hanako kind of. Same reason. Did I really not get a 5-8? God damn it. Hanako, honestly, kind of same reasoning for me as who is it? Rice Shower for this game. It's similar reasoning where I feel like a lot of people like them because maybe not so much because of the tragedy angle, but because, you know, like, oh, cute cinnamon roll must be protected, that kind of thing. Which isn't really my jam, so I was like, you know, I appreciate Crispy Bacon Girl, but like, you know, I wasn't really the biggest fan of her. Her route did have some moments though, and obviously she is intrinsically tied to Lily with the friendship and stuff, so there is that aspect of it. But she's alright. Rin was a little bit too abstract for me. I know somebody who really loved Rin and her route. But I found her character to be a little bit too out there, kind of in the clouds. And then her route was also kind of a little bit, you know, it was alright. Not really necessarily my favorite. Shizuku, kind of the same idea, like, not so much the head in the cloud stuff, but like I didn't really like her character, and also her route was also not really. It was interesting because it was also kind of felt like Nisha's route too, right? It's just a kind of a little bit of both of them, especially since like the bad ending did involve her in a way. So it is one of those things where you're like, well, you want one, you want them both. Not really, but you probably know what I'm talking about if you play the game. But yeah, Shizuku's alright, Rin's alright, Hanako's alright. I think Emmy is my second favorite character. Honestly, it's between Lily and Emmy for favorite, but I think Lily kind of does take the edge on that, so... but I did really like Emmy, you know, can't go wrong with the Genki, the athletic Genki type girl. You know, that's always been kind of a favorite of mine. I think I slowly discovered that it has been a favorite character trope of mine. So it's always been something that's I've been kind of drawn into. So very good. Also lemons, yes, the lemon scene. That was always a classic. If you know, you know. Okay, so we're good on speed. Let's see if we can't salvage some amazing last few turns here, which I don't have much hope for, but it could happen. It could happen. Well, biscuits. I guess I'll use up my last dreams training and hope the last two end up being good, otherwise I'm just kind of screwed. I really have to hope here, because, yeah, these last few trainings have to be amazing. Otherwise, this is also kind of going to be a rip run. Alright, please give me something good. I mean, that's not terrible on the speed side, but I was kind of hoping for something on the one of these three. I mean, I guess I'll just take this. Try to guarantee as close to max speed as possible, because honestly, even with that, that was kind of looking pretty iffy. Okay, please give me something good. That's actually pretty good. Sure, we'll take it. Why not? Okay, well, I don't think this is going to be a S rating, just because I think the rest of the stats other than speed is not up to par, but I'll take it anyway. Alright, Admire Groove, let's show me your moves. Whoops. I love when two of them... I love when it's like divided between just the two races, so it's like, you know, you have two of them facing each other, and then the other two face each other as well, so it's like, not everyone's gonna be a winner. Oh, wow, that's not really even that... Yeah, the power didn't even end up being 1500. That's pretty yabai. Man, if I can't get the stats, or... sorry, when I can get the medium, I can't get the stats. When I can get the stats, I can't get this medium. It's really... It's one or the other. You can't have both, apparently. That's my life here. Welcome to Umamusume. Okay, let me fill up the rest of these boys here, and then we'll decide if we want to continue on the Aruvu route, or maybe switch over to maybe like Ines or somebody. I kind of also want to build a better Aruvu before I build a better Ines, because I think it's definitely a higher priority, seeing as Aruvu is a bit more of a higher meta character. So, and Ines is just kind of there for moral support, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, I mean, these haven't been terrible runs, but they haven't been the amazing ones that we've had, I think, in the last few streams, so I'm a little bit miffed about that. But the luck streak was about to end at some point, so it's a good thing it happened when I was playing the game rather than when I was rolling for characters, because if it was the latter, I don't think I would have been very happy spending all of my money trying to get Curren Bouquetd'or. Even if I did really want to get her, that would not have been a fun time. Bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. That is a UA5. Oof, that's actually one of the lower ratings I've had in a little bit. Still not terrible, but not exactly what we're looking for here in the training. Wait, what? Bouquet? Oh, okay. Just talking about Bouquet. What did I get? Oh my god, it's still... I think I still have like, yeah, 3... I still have like these rewards left. Like the carrots, the fragments. Those are the more important things. That's what I'm really here for. Yeah. Look at me, I'm Tokyo and I have so many fans. Wow, look at me. Anyway, I'm just gonna do these while I have the TP, RP, the TP, one of those, the RP. Sorry, it's RP. Please win one of them. Probably not, because I don't have a good team here, especially since I had to insert Bouquet. Yep, that's okay. I'm just really doing this just to get Bouquet's level up here, and then everybody else will go as needed. Okay, well, hey, we got another one. Another one. Jewel? Carrot? Nope, just coins. Yeah. Why am I talking like a witch? What? I don't know. Okay. Let's continue on the Aruvu train. We're just gonna keep grinding out runs. You know, I haven't been doing this mainly because I've been focused on the English side, trying to get runs for the event or event points. But I'm at a good pace for that, so I don't really need to worry too much about that for now. I can just grind that during the weekend. So I will focus on there was a little bit of me that wanted to maybe, or not wanted, but there was a little bit of me considering maybe doing the English version of this game, just so I can do a few runs for the event. But I figured I'm not seriously training for the CM in that game, so not until Grand Live comes into play. So I figured I don't think it would be that fun of a watch. It would just be me just kind of being like, okay, let's just grind out. I mean, it's kind of what I'm doing here, except even less serious, if you can believe it. So I figured this would be a better option. Especially since TM, I feel like, is rapidly approaching. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but it does feel like it is approaching, so I really do want to try and get a good team. Not just a viable team, but a good team. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. Yeah, sure. We kind of need to get Espo in play, but we still have a couple of turns for that, so no need to worry. You just rest. You need to rest your 94 energy. You have some space for some excess. Okay, yeah. We do that, and we get the hint too to get even more affinity gauge up. Top option, right? Yeah. I've done so many Aruvu runs that I've actually kind of memorized them at this point. Thank you for that. I still don't have the date event, right? So maybe I might want to actually do this. Yeah, let's do that. It's a two birds with one stone sort of thing. Get Espo and get this one to do a date event. Date event? No. Date event? No. Maybe someday. See, I got super lucky the last run where it literally showed up the very first turn it could. Like, that's about as lucky as you can get with that. There we go. Well, it showed up anyway. At least if it shows... As long as it shows up before the debut race, I'm happy, because that's really what I'm here for. So, anything before that is pretty good. Let's do that. I'm actually kind of ahead of schedule in terms of Yonko having friendship gauge. So I can focus on the other ones instead, which is actually kind of an unprecedented territory. Surprising, shocking, one might say. But I would not be opposed to doing that, so let's do that, I guess. Yeah. Stamina. I hardly know her. Okay. Use the hydrate. I am apparently. It's funny. There are days after, or not days. There are times after I get back from my gym routine where I'm super thirsty and I just keep drinking like gallons of water. And then there are days like today where I'm just like, yeah, I'm not that thirsty. I guess I can just, you know, take a few sips here and there. But I'm like, I'm mostly fine. I don't know when that is. You know, it's interesting. Not really sure. I'm sure there is. I'm obviously there is a reason, but like I don't know. I'm not a scientist. You know, I've done stuff around sciencey courses, but I never really claimed to be a scientist, so can't really help you there. Now, if you need visualizations or dashboards, I'm your guy, but like otherwise, I can't really help you there. If you need models created for any of your shenanigans, then I guess I can also help with that. Give me a call at Shino the Penguin at hotmail.com. No, that's not my email. I was just trying to come up with a funny outdate. Does anybody even use I'm sure there are people that use Hotmail. I don't know. I feel like it's Gmail for the most part. I think one of my best friends used to have like a Hotmail email account. I was Gmail from the get-go, I think. It started, I think, with like a computer class I took in like elementary school or something, and then they're like, "Oh, create an email," and I'm like, "Okay." It's like, "Oh, it's easy. Just do it in this fancy news, this crazy new site called Google. You just gotta create an account there, and then you get email." And it's like, "Wow, that's crazy." And so, haven't looked back since, unfortunately. I still remember my childhood my childhood email address, and I'm sure all of y'all can relate. You know, your first email address is probably something super cringy because you're like, oh, you're just a kid, you don't know any better, and you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be pretty neat. And then it's like, oh wait, this is actually like, it's like Sparkles the Pegasus at gmail.com, or like RARXD monster eater at gmail. It's like some stupid shit like that, right? That's always the good stuff. My favorite is like when people still keep those email addresses, and actually not even keep, but like straight up like still use those email addresses, like for like work applications and stuff. Because I remember, and I don't know if I should really say this, but like back when I worked at my old job, we had access to like a lot of like recruiting, because we were like a recruiting company, and so we had like a lot of access to like applications and jobs and stuff. And I remember seeing one of my favorite, well actually this is unrelated, but one of my favorite tables I like to go to is the profanity filter table, where it kept track of all the responses to like chatbots of like people like, you know, like saying like fuck you, or like, oh, like suck my balls or some shit like that to the fucking to the recruiting agency. Which, by the way, if you do say shit like that, that shit does get recorded, and probably I don't know about reported, but definitely recorded for people like me to be able to see through and be like, haha, what are they thinking? So, you know, keep that in mind. But there was that, but also like there were like occasionally like I'd see email addresses of like those kinds of like kind of in those styles, and I'm like, man, y'all really should just create an email address that's just like more professionally, right? Like, not trying to judge, but like also like they will judge, so like it's just like you gotta be a little bit more better about that kind of stuff. But I totally understand, you know. I mean, from somebody who used to have one of those, or still does. Well, not still does, but like used to have one of those kind of email addresses. Give me your energy, thank you. We have now entered the stage of the stream where I am starting to get hungry. This is understandable given that it is currently almost 8 p.m. and I have only eaten my lunch of a salad. So, no shit, you're hungry. That's okay, I have food waiting for me after the stream. That food is called bread. No, I'm just kidding, I'm not that sad. I'll just probably slap on some hummus on that shit, get a bread sandwich going. No, it's nothing like that. I have a lot of. Well, we'll see. We'll see what I cook up for din-dins. I don't like any of these options. Have I done a date? I have not done a date event yet. Maybe that might be the play, even though it doesn't heal me or anything. Because if I do that, it gives me... Yeah, that's full. And then maybe... And then I'm forced to do a dreams training anyway, although I saw that those were some pretty spicy trainings. Fortunately, I cannot do those just yet. Okay, well... Shoot, Air Groove isn't ready, so I gotta... I guess I'll do this. It's always the stamina that's just always an issue, and Air Groove still is not friendship eligible, so I guess screw me. Unless she has an event that happens right here? Nope. Okay, well, that's fine. I guess my speed is just going to be very lacking for this beginning part of the run. Which is fine, I can always catch up. As long as I get my other stats up to par, which the wit is she is very smart. I will say this, at least. This alternate universe version of Aruvu is very, very smart. So far, at least. Okay, let's get one more dreams. Oh, there we go. Okay, never mind. Didn't need to worry. Somehow she gained friendship. You need to heal with the very little energy that is depleted. Two, 15. Okay. Man, Marsh, maybe someday you'll be trainable. Maybe someday we'll be able to see what you're like with the puppet. See how often you are forced to speak without it. See whether or not there's a whole saga about you having to learn how to not depend on your puppet for communication purposes. Maybe that'll happen. Who knows? Maybe not. We don't have to force it. Okay. Yeah. That's fine. Okay. Let's see. Let's do a guts. Let's guts it up. And then, oh, spicy. That's what we call spice. A spicy spaghetti. Man, it's gotta stop with the food mentions. Oh. Dang it. Dang it, Aruvu. Damn it, Bob. Wow, that is not correct. Dang it, Bobby. Okay. I used to be able to do like an okay Hank Hill impression. I can't do it anymore. What the heck? Did my voice permanently change after what happened on Thursday? Probably. Maybe. That's probably not a good thing. Oh man, I don't like any of these options, so I guess I'm just gonna give up. Okay. And I think I will say this is probably going to be the last run, which I know I've only really been doing Aruvu runs, but I figure with the hunger quickly approaching and me being already kind of good with the Umas that I have, I can just kind of keep training off-site, off-stream. We will just, we will continue We will continue on Saturday, I think, but just wanted to get some hours in, at least before the weekend streams, just because I felt like it was a bit too long in between streams from Sunday. And I figured, like I said, I was in a good mood. I was feeling pretty saucy, so I figured why not get some runs in on live on Twitch.tv. You know, it seemed like a good idea, and it was a good idea. Well, depends on how well this run goes, but it might be a good idea. Okay, ooh, that's tempting. Do I risk 17%? No, especially since I'm... Well, actually, hold on. Yes. Okay, good. I was like, yeah, I might as well risk it. Risk it for that biscuit. And then I'll do a date event. I'm not even gonna look at my options there. I need to do it. There is no choice. And then I'll do more healing, because why not? And then I'll race the Japanese Oaks with everybody's favorite characters, such as Still in Love and Kawakami Princess and Mejiro Dobear and Daring Tact whenever she comes out. Maybe someday. Maybe in the 5th or the 5.5th anniversary. I'm sure if she doesn't come out then, I think people will definitely ride then. But I think she's pretty slated for that that slot for the special gacha. Sweepy, the Yada creature. We got the Love creature. We've got the Virginia creature, the second place creature. And then we have this one. And out of all of them, I am the winner. I am the captain now. Next up, the Elizabeth Cup. Wait a minute. Okay, I think I have to do a Dreams, which is unfortunate, because that's... Well, not unfortunate, but it's could have been nice to have that. Yes. Okay. And then that should be enough for... Yeah, okay, we're good on the 455. Surprisingly, we've been pretty on top of that today, which is good. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Like, I think that there was a few times that didn't happen last stream, and that was not a good time. It was a... Actually, I shouldn't say that, because I actually did end up having a pretty good runs with, especially with Sped, because I think Sped ended up being a 4-4-5. So that was just a miraculous last few turns, though. So I don't know if I can really rely on that to be a reliable sort of source of truth, sort of income. I'm just saying words, you know. I think I'm just regurgitating the words I've been hearing over the last few days at work. That's how my brain works. Yep, see, there we go. No, not 456. Or not 446, 455. I don't even think it allows me to do 456, given that 5 I think is the max level. So it's actually preventing me from being stupid anyway, which is good. I will take as many safeguards to my stupidities as I can. Okay. Ooh, spicy beans. Spicy spaghetti. Okay, I don't like any of these options. I kind of want to do this one. Which you may think, why? And it's really just for the stats. But sometimes you just need to do that. Okay. This would be a great time for a date event, unless nothing happens. Okay. Date events. Oh shoot, I realized my mistakes. Maybe not date event. Maybe... do I... Hold on, what? That is the third one. Okay, so maybe... 23% is honestly kind of iffy, though. Sure. Oh, okay. I fail 5% training, but I don't fail 23%. I see how it is, game. Thank you very much, but also I see how it is. Okay, now we do this. Now I can take the full advantage of the benefits of the date event. Thank you. Let's get started indeed. Okay. Oh, what's her face? I was about to say Hyoka, but that's an anime. That's not a person's name. Yeah, you know, famous innkeeper Hyoka. Speaking of Hyoka, man, that was a... Admittedly, that show was a bit of a slow burn, but definitely it was very good. I very much enjoyed it. I mean, if you don't like slice of life, kind of, I guess it has a hint of romance, but not really. If you like those slice of lifey kind of shows, definitely recommend, but it does kind of feel a bit slow at times. And it also is 2 core, which kind of also plays a role into it, but I like the, well, first of all, I didn't really like, I really only like, what is her name, Chitanda? Like, Chitanda was honestly, like, kind of made the show for me. The other characters were honestly pretty whatever. Like, what was his name? The Oreki? Was it Hotaru? No, it was not Hotaru. That was not his name. I remember one of his names was Oreki. But... he was alright, and then the Mayaka, I think was her name, was kind of honestly a little bit of a bitch. Didn't really like her. And what, Satoshi, I think was the other guy's name. He was whatever. He was enabling Mayaka, which it wasn't my favorite, but sometimes you just need those types of characters. But the group dynamic was good, I think, overall, and then the whole overarching idea of the story, which was, you know, obviously kind of the solving the... Was it the... Yeah, it was like the solving the mysteries and all that. Very interesting, very interesting. So... And yeah, I'm a sucker when it comes to Kyoto Animation stuff, which, by the way, I know that there are news things about to come out soon-ish, which that's been in the works for quite some time. Admittedly so because of the tragedy that happened, but I'm glad that they're at least gonna release it soon. I remember seeing, because I was looking at the panels for Anime Expo, trying to see like if there's any that caught my eye, and that was one of them, because I think they're showing like the first 2 episodes of that, and I was like, ooh, that might be pretty interesting. I might be down for that. But yeah, I don't know. When it comes to AX, because AX panels, like obviously there's like a lot of industry stuff. Obviously with the more popular stuff, it's going to be like line con, where you just kind of have to wait in line for hours, which ew, gross, hate that. But there isn't really, other than that, there were only like a few other panels that really caught my attention. One of them being one that my friend is going to be in, so I might join that, because I don't think there was anything else conflicting, so I figured, let's go say hi and be like, and shout random things at him. And he's like, I love you, insert name here, and like, you know, be all cringy, because that's always fun. Make your friends cringe. And that's my plan. But that, and then also the other event that I actually was super interested in, and I was surprised that it was a free event, was that it was a like a Vocaloid DJ event. It's like a, what is it called? It was like Vocaloid. God, let me pull this. Try and find it. Anime Expo schedule. Anime Expo schedule. More content. I think it was day 3, 5:30. It's Japan Music Vocaloid. It's a lineup of DJs. What I found really amazing was, 1, it's free. 2, they had like some really crazy names in the lineup. Like they have I'm probably gonna pronounce these wrong, so forgive me. But like Hachioji P, they got Live Tune, they got Teddy Lloyd. Like that's crazy. The fact that they're gonna make, well, you have to apparently get tickets for that at the ticketing booth on that day, which I'm definitely gonna have to do that. But it's free. Like that's crazy considering. I think there's a, what is it, the J-pop capsule, whatchamacallit, whatever that thing is, the J-pop sound capsule, which admittedly that concert also sounded pretty interesting because it had guests like Roselia and like Ali, Spire, Yoko Kano, Yoko Takahashi. Admittedly, out of all those, I think Roselia only is the one that really kind of interests me, but when I was looking at the tickets for that, it's like at least like I think $100, and I'm like, you know, considering that only one of those really interests me, I don't think it's really that worth it. Granted, that was kind of my same mindset with Zipangu, with Ado, and that ended up actually being a really fun time. So maybe I might want to, but considering how I'm probably going to be spending a lot of my money in Anime Expo between Artist Alley and all that stuff, I'm already planning for that. I want to try and maybe not use as much money this time around as I did with Fanime, so I figure maybe I won't go to that one, but instead I might go to the one at the Vocaloid one, because that actually does sound like a pretty fun time. Okay, well, thanks for that, Aruvu. But yeah, Anime Expo, fun time. I'm looking forward to waiting. I'm looking forward to LineCon and waiting in lines and being overcrowded and smelling all the smells. That's always gonna be a fun time. So remember to shower, people. God damn, shower. Like deodorant is not enough. You need to fucking shower, y'all. Come on, let's not propagate this stereotype out there, right? Let's actually get some hygiene going. Please. Okay. Oh man, I don't like any of these options. I guess I'll just cry. Guess I'll just cry about it. I'm also kind of in a bad position because I don't have any date events left and I don't have that much energy, but I can make do with it. Did I get the mid-S last time? I think I did. I guess I'm hoping for it here anyway. No, I didn't. Wait, I don't think I did, actually. Did I? I don't remember anymore. Please tell me I did, because otherwise this run is over. And that would be a really bad way of ending this stream. My god, that's a lot of skills. I did not. Well, watch this one be the one where I get suddenly really good stats. Like, it's already kind of happening right now. That would honestly be pretty apt. So I wouldn't be too mad, but I would be mad. But I wouldn't be too mad about it, you know? I'd be like, yeah, that happens. Because like you're already seeing the stats are already actually pretty good, which is kind of pissing me off low-key. So you know, that's cool. I like when that happens. Just need to get both of them to line up correctly, and then we're good. But it just never. That doesn't happen because this game is a whole RNG fest. Because of course it is. So we love it. We love it here in Umamusume life, in Umamusume fandom times, whatever you want to call it. Alright, well I don't think I'm gonna get 858 based on what I saw from the initial glance. Yeah, I'm not. That is what we call a tragedy. Not a comedy, but a tragedy. Let me do this. And then I'll do the speed. Speaking of Shakura, I did see that she's about to come out on the English side soon. I love that somebody was like I think in the discussion that I saw somebody like, oh, this looks like a good kid, and then like somebody in the comment was like responding was like, no, it's not, it's not. And I can also tell you from JP experience, she's not good. She's not good. I'm sorry, y'all. She's not meta. Don't let that stop you if she is your favorite character, but like she is not an option that you should be pulling for as like a meta character. She's not like Christmas Oguri or like Valentine's Bourbon or anything like that. She's just Air Shakur, unfortunately. It is what it is, though. Which I think is becoming my catchphrase slowly as I start saying that every stream, but it is what it is. It's so applicable to everything. I can just say, it is what it is, and then just kind of end it at that. And it's like, yeah, that tracks. Like, for instance, what's happening right now with the fat stats. It is what it is, despite the fact that I hate it, and I really want, you know, actually this happening with this medium. Unfortunately, we have no mediums here, just sadness. It's okay. I'm always sad anyway. This is my deep. No, I'm just kidding. That's so depressing. That's such a depressing thing to say. I have a perfectly happy life. I'm good. I'm not that depressed. I take drugs for that to prevent me from being depressed. And by depressed, I mean more so just a soulless hunk of body that has no motivation to do anything, because that really is kind of what a lot of my depression is. Fun stuff. Okay, let's see. Let me not just jump into that and see what we got here. I don't like any of these options. I think I'll just do this. Let me do stamina. God, seriously, look at these stats. These stats are actually good. I'm legitimately kind of angry about this. This is really gonna drive me up a wall. It is. I am up the wall right now. I'm right here. I'm on this wall. I'm being driven on it. That is a really bad way of putting it, but you know what I'm talking about. I am not happy. You can tell because of the tone of my voice, which is pretty much the same as what it usually is, so I guess you can't really tell, but you know, you can tell. Your boy is not, is miffed. He's insert other adjective for being angry, or not adjective, sorry, insert other synonym for being angry. But like slightly so, not like irate. That's a bit too extreme. So I am not a happy camper. I'm not even a camper. Still not happy about it though. Okay, let's get something good here. Oh, that's pretty good. Seriously, look at this. We already got almost 1,600 for everything. What the fuck, man? This is going to be a US, and I'm not going to be happy about it because I didn't get this medium that I needed. And I'm going to be real pissy about it. I'm going to be like, oh, look at this. Look at me go. Why couldn't this happen earlier? Oh, screw the RNG. I hate RNG. RNGesus can go suck 10 eggs for all I care. Which he probably might after this, honestly. Let's be low-key. But let's see how the final results turned out. If this actually ends up being a high score, which this actually may as well be, it actually has a very good chance of doing that. That's gonna also drive me insane, because that means there is a very good chance this could be like a US 3 or something, and that is also gonna piss me off. Oh my god, brother. Ah, brother. Shaking my head. Legitimately shaking my head. At the audacity of this bitch. Okay, well, I guess, honestly, this is about as good as we can end with this. I'll keep grinding. We'll keep grinding Saturday. Hoping that we can get something like this with a medium. And then be happy about it. But for now, I am not happy. I even hear the birds outside. They also express their dissatisfaction at all this shenanigans. That's all I'll say about it. This is shenanigans. Oh yeah, I hear them outside for sure. They are not happy. No. No. I don't know why I select those. It's like those are not useful. No. Yes, maybe. I kind of like this one better. Okay. Well, drum roll please, as we see whether or not, I think, it's not whether or not this is a high score, it's more so how much of a high score this is going to be for your boy. Let's find out. Epiphania. Wow, I'm actually kind of a little surprised. I think this actually, is this going to be high score though? Let's find out. US2 is going to probably be my high score. It is not high score. Okay. That actually kind of is a little bit of a relief, because then I'm like, okay, thank God. Dang, that could have, it could have been so good if only it got the S aptitude in the distance. Then I would have been so happy, and I would have no acne, and all my problems would be solved, and I would be happy. I would be so elated with joy. Who is my high score anyway? I think it's odd. I think it's Still in Love. Yeah, it's this Still in Love. Once again, Still in Love overtakes Aruvu just by a little bit. Isn't that hilarious? Okay. Let's see whether or not we get some carrot. Okay, we got 1 carrot. Only need 8 more, so only just like 1 or 2 more runs. Okay, but I think that's going to be it for me. Did not get any replacements. I mean, maybe that Aruvu could be a replacement, but I don't think the A medium is going to be enough to overcome the differences in stats there. So I'm just going to keep on grinding with that. So with that, let's kick things into the Just Chatting, and we'll sign off for the day. But thanks everybody so much for tuning in. I hope y'all had a good Uma stream, good Wednesday. I'll be seeing y'all on Friday, because as mentioned, I will not be streaming on the Thursday, which is tomorrow, as I will be busy watching soccer and screaming my lungs out. So please pray for my throat in advance. And we will see whether or not I can prove to be the throat goat. But until then, hope you all have a good rest of your Wednesday night, or whatever time of day may be. This has been Shino the Penguin. And hope to see you all in a future stream. But until then, have a good one. Thank you. And see you next time. Bye-bye.